to You by Puffin.
Ace and the Animal Heroes, The Wacky Weather Mystery. Written and read by me, JB Gill. Prologue. The coast was clear. The time was 8:59 p.m. Councillor Henry Crabbington looked left, then right, then left again. He stepped out of the doorway and his feet felt the hard, rough surface of the alley. Okay, let's go. He checked over his shoulder, even though he'd only just left the village hall. He needed to be careful. This was one of the most devious plans he'd ever come up with. And once this meeting was over, he'd have the perfect way to stop Ace and the farm squad in their tracks. Or so he hoped. He turned left and walked towards the woods at the back of the village hall, as he'd been instructed. He made his way down the path and checked over his shoulder again. Slam! Out of nowhere, a masked figure gruffly commanded, "Stop right there." Councillor Crabbington panicked. He tried to speak, but no words came out. "Close your eyes. No peeking," came the voice again. "Stick." Councillor Crabbington didn't dare disobey. He held out his cane, eyes still tightly shut. "Payment has been received," said the voice. "In the head of your cane is the software you need. The encryption code is 12348722. I suggest you memorize it quickly. I also suggest you count to 10 before walking back the way you came, and do not look back. You may live to regret it. This is the last of our conversations. Goodbye, Mr. Crabbington." The councillor didn't dare utter a word, and by the time he'd counted to 10, the mysterious figure had disappeared. Once Councillor Crabbington had gathered his senses, he tapped the top pocket of his overcoat. In it, he found the eagle head of his walking cane. At the bottom of the head, a tiny USB stick had been attached. He removed it, replaced the head on his cane, which he found leaning against a fence, and strode off as quickly as he could to the village hall. He didn't look back. It was his little secret. But secrets never stay secret forever, and everything done in darkness, including secret meetings with mysterious figures, eventually comes to light. Chapter 1. "Yay! It's the summer holidays!" sang Ace and his best friend Bear as they ran through the back door of the farmhouse. They were hit by the irresistible smell of freshly baked banana scones a la Gigi. Gigi was, in Ace's opinion, one of the best grandmothers you could ever hope for. She was a fabulous inventor, from new tools for the farm right up to creating different recipes, and Ace was always thrilled to taste test them for her. "Afternoon, you two? You seem like very eager beavers today," Gigi said with her usual smile. She high-fived Bear, then reached over to kiss Ace on the forehead, while the two children kicked off their school shoes and immediately jumped into their yellow wellies. Gaga chuckled as he walked into the kitchen. Ace's grandfather was wearing one of his more colourful tops today. He was never one to be outdone on fashion. "Not so fast! Up to your rooms and change out of your uniforms first, please." Ace and Bear smiled and rolled their eyes before kicking their wellies off again and racing upstairs giggling. "And quickly!" Gaga called after them. "Otherwise, I'll have to eat all these scrumptious banana scones by myself." Gaga and Gigi shared a knowing smile. Gigi was Ace's dad's mum. Gaga was Ace's mum's dad, and they both loved Ace almost as much as they loved summer. Their summer holidays used to consist of visits to the countryside, going on day trips and exploring new places in Britain. But that was before, when they still lived in the city. Now, the countryside was their home, a home they'd set up with their only grandson Ace after he'd inherited it from his great-uncle Hakeem, Gigi's brother. Bear had basically become their granddaughter. She spent so much time at their house that one of the spare rooms was now officially Bear's room. But she was born and bred in Bellevue and lived with her parents a few houses down the country lane. The countryside was in her blood, and she'd been the one to introduce Ace to the animals on the farm.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?